G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Sunday morning Wildkard Rugby show. And this is Six Nations, this is France versus England, and this is not that big a gap. For real this time. 33 points to 31, very close. England had an opportunity to win the game before Danny Kerr, for the second week in a row, kicked the ball away, giving France the last chance opportunity to get a penalty and winning the game. And a lot of you French viewers might be feeling a little bit of deja vu watching this game. Now, there's a lot of tries scored from both teams, quick successions, lots of swings in the scoreboard, and with the final play involving the opposition kicking the ball to you, this is very identical to the Rugby World Cup quarterfinal against the South Africans. Now, at the time, when Faf de Klerk kicked the ball away, this was my reactions. I thought this was a mistake. He almost identical play in almost identical part of the field as well. High ball to the 50-meter mark. The commentary was literally saying this needed to go deep, and then Danny Kerr failed to do so, tempting the fate of the referee's whistle. And yeah, at the time when I saw this from the South Africans, my honest review was that Faf de Klerk made a massive mistake here. He needed to kick this ball way deeper or just hold on to the ball. A lot of you guys justify this kick as that the Springboks' rush defense operated better than carrying the ball forward. So there's more opportunities, more likely that the Springboks were going to get a penalty from carrying the ball forward than actually running with the ball, which I did agree. But I still think that the ball should have gone deeper, gone out of Ramos' kicking range, which is basically anywhere within that 50-meter mark. Should have gone out of the kicking range, and the rush defense would have been still be the same effectiveness. But if you do give away the penalty, you're not in range to take 3 points and lose the game immediately. So I felt that it was a mistake from Faf de Klerk. It should have gone deeper, despite the fact that it worked out for the South Africans to turning the ball over. But nevertheless, I thought it was a mistake at the time. And today, I think that a lot of the French probably felt a little bit redemption from that turnover. Felt like they were in the same situation again. And this time they, correctly got the penalty advantage that they were looking for. And and they proved that if the South Africans had given away the penalty, kind of proved my theory. If they had given away the penalty, would have been a game loss for the South Africans in the quarterfinals. And Ramos popped this one through very easy, 50-meter out, pretty much right on the 50-meter line, tiny bit of an angle, and easy as chips or whatever you want to call it. But then just I understand again. England has brought in the South African defense coach. I understand England's rush defense has been very effective, but it just one stat I think that teams may have to consider is how good is the discipline of the team. The French only conceded 5 penalties for the entire match. If you think about it, England scored 4 tries. The probability of you getting a penalty to turn the ball over and win the game is almost as low as you scoring a try. You score 4 tries and only got 5 penalties. So the chance of you getting a penalty is like the same as you would be able to score a try. And that is something that I really felt that maybe England has failed to put that into consideration when they did this box kick. Or maybe Danny Kerr just has that Eddie Jones stench still lingering on him. But it was really bad decision from England. And yeah, that's why they lost. I can see the disappointment in the England fans. That should have been managed a lot better. A deeper kick would have been a much better result. And, it's just really like you're giving the opportunity for the opposition to win the game, and you're putting yourself in a position where your chance of getting a penalty is so low, you probably have a better chance of scoring a try, right? You probably have the same chance of scoring a try or equal chance of scoring a try. So that's just something that mathematically made no sense. It's just, very bad position from England. Very bad kick from Danny Kerr. And I kind of proved that South Africans probably got away a little bit lucky in the quarterfinals, getting that turnover from the poor box kick from Faf de Klerk there as well. That aside, I thought both teams played a really expensive, nice style of rugby. England was having that style where they try to jam people through the centers. Ollie Lawrence was exceptionally well this game, and same with Ben Earl. Once again, absolutely superhuman performance. Both players were able to punch in through the middle of the field, linking up with the players, setting up their team for tries. For the French, it was a kicking game. Without Anton Dupont, they were still just kind of throwing a lot of those haymaker kicks down the field. There was one point where Ramos literally did a soccer kick down the field. The ball didn't even touch the ball, just like kicked the ball on the fly and led into a try. Just like absolute like magnificent stuff, like magic stuff from the French kicking game. And also the French, outside of this, expansive style of kicking, the French was also dominating just territorially from the kicking game as well. And also the French four-pack once again came to the bench, just brought that size, brought that physique. England had a bit of a roll coming off the second half, a bit of a momentum, and as soon as the French big forwards came on, they just completely hit a brick wall. The French was able to wrestle that momentum back for themselves. Once again, it was just looking super, super, super dominant. Some of the forwards just so big coming off the bench, the big guys, and it was just brutal watching them. Like every scrum, every time these guys carry the ball, it just looked like it hurts, and just you can see the England players getting worn down, just from the physical size that the French team brought to the table. And with that aside, I thought the England team, definitely improved dramatically. At the beginning of the game, it looked like England was going back to let's kick 3 points, guys. That mentality. But I was really glad in the second half they've thrown that out the window and really proved again this week that they can play rugby and just running rugby, attacking rugby. Be what do you like to call it? Be not adventurous. Be ambitious in what they wanted to do, and the ambition, the guts pays off. There, they do have the talent to get the payoff. Marcus Smith injected a lot of speed, and it was just really, 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 really good to see. Regardless, despite the loss, I think England definitely got over a hump, and except Danny Kerr still got the Eddie Jones stench on him, but definitely got over a massive hump that they always afraid to play the game because they're afraid of losing. Take the 3, guys. I'm really, really happy to see that England got over that hump. Maybe once finally, but maybe they just get rid of Danny Kerr and retire him, and then they will be finally over that hump completely for the entire team. Let's have a look at some of the interesting match stats now. 3 tries to 4. Yes, England did score more tries than the French. 472 run meters for the French, though. England 293. England was able to punch through the middle, whereas the French team was able to go around with a lot of the kicking, with a lot of bit of a more wider play overall. You wouldn't believe this, but I had a bit of a stats for halftime if I still got it. Yes, France was basically doubling England's run meters at halftime as well. There was 7 missed tackles for the French at halftime, 25 missed tackles already for England just by halftime. So yeah, England tackle count was not great. 77 tackles overall for French. Only had to make 77 tackles in a test match. Oh my god, that's really not that many. And 18 missed tackles for the French. So more missed tackles in the second half, and those missed tackles led into tries pretty much immediately. Kind of like the South African game, actually. The South Africans didn't have that many opportunities, but they scored every time they did get the opportunity. Just something that maybe the French have to take a closer look at what is happening there. England 136 tackles, 36 missed tackles for themselves. Kicks in play, 37 for the French, 34 for England. Perfect goal kicks for George Fort today. 1 penalty goal missed by Tomo Ramos. That was one. He also has one of those. That was a long one, kind of from the sideline, and he got that out. Line out 16 for the French, 13 for England. 1 loss for French, and 2 losses for England. The scrummaging I thought was actually quite close, to be honest. I thought that Antonio did lose a scrum due to slipping down, but I thought the England scrum was really, really technical in terms of they weren't able to dominate this French scrum per se to get a penalty out of them, but they were able to just steady the scrums and get the ball out and get the job done. And that's something that I think they really tightened up in this game, and because the French scrum has been very dominant against their previous games, even against Ireland. And I thought the English did quite well there. The discipline, just let me refresh this in case this is actually correct. Yeah, the discipline, 5 against France. Like I said, the chance of you scoring a try is almost as high as you getting a penalty. And then the English conceded 10 penalties, which makes it way more dangerous kicking the ball to the French than actually, holding on to the ball or kicking it, deeper. Like, it was just really didn't add up the way that the decision was made to kick the ball away right at the end there for Danny Care. With that being said, let's go through some of the key moments of the game. I've been trying to get these recaps a little bit shorter just to keep it a bit more interesting. So we're going to try rapid fire a bit more and try to speed this up a little bit more. Speeding up the game, guys. Speeding up the game. So it took 11 minutes for the first points to be on the ball. There was a scrum penalty against Uni Antonio for slipping down. George Ford popped this one in, 40 meters out, 3 points to nil. 17 minutes into the game, 45 meters out, and Thomas Ramos there was a penalty against England for holding on. Ramos kicked this one through, 3 points apiece. 19 minutes into the game, England had a line out, and it was stolen by the French, and then the French immediately counterattacked, just throwing the ball away. This was inside their own half. Quickly shifting the ball out wide. Gao Fiku found a bit of gap in midfield. He broke through. Nice offload to Leo Barret, who did a little dummy and go. He looked like he was going to pass to Bieri outside. No, he just dummy and go. And then inside ball to Lagatic went in for the try. Absolutely beautiful. One face play from a stolen line out. 10 points to 3 for the French. 32 minutes into the game, there was a penalty to France. And it was an English player making tackle on the ground. Yeah, another easy 3 points for Ramos. 13 points to 3. 35 minutes into the game, there was another penalty against England, number 5, for offside. So that will be George Martin for being offside. 16 points to 3. And then finally, just before halftime, England was looking pretty down and out and watching the scoreboard getting chipped away. Really needed to get some points on the board before halftime, and they were able to back themselves and getting that on the board. There was a nice little kick down deep by Marcus Smith, and he chased this one down, tackled, penaled, and dragged him, essentially tackled and pushed him out of the sideline, 5 meters from the try line. So England got a 5 meter line out. They go for the line out. They go for the maul. Another penalty for sacking the maul illegally. Then went for the other line out. Went for another maul. This time the maul went to the ground. No penalty. The ball came out. Went to Slade, Henry Slade, and then Slade just a flat short ball to a full speed Ollie Lawrence punching through a hole. Try time under the post. England got themselves back in a more respectable point before halftime, 16 points to 10. Second half starts, England came out absolutely firing. 2 minutes into the game, England already got really close to the try line just with the forwards belting through middle of the field. Underhill was able to get a little short pop from Mauro Itoje. He got really close to the try line. And then, again, the ball came out. Just nice little short ball to the blind side. Ollie Lawrence crashed down really just short of the try line and then reached over for the first try for England. 16 points to 17. England taking the lead by 1 point. 3 minutes later, immediately, England gets another shot at the French try line. The England had a line out, essentially was around the halfway point. The line out comes out to the middle of the field, and it was 2 forwards set up in a little shoulder to shoulder sort of setup. Genge got the ball, short pass to Ben Earl, just ran straight through the middle of the field, punched straight through. He got through, and then he linked up with Marcus Smith, and Marcus Smith runs in to another England try, back-to-back, 24 points to 16. England well ahead. 55 minutes into the game, the French started to bring on their reserves, bring on the big forwards, and he started to noticeably wrestle back the momentum. And basically, the French was building forward towards the England try line into the 22. The ball went out to Charles Olivon, who took on the gain line, and then just nice little pop out to the side for Leo Barek, who just went through a gap for the French try. So this was a couple offloads before this as well. Before Olivon got the offload off, he received a offload. not received offload. The halfback received the halfback. What's his name? Legaric received the offload from like off the ground, and Legaric passed to Olivon, who then offloaded again. So some really nice play from the French, keeping the ball alive here to score this one. 23 points to 24. 60 minutes into the game. Again, I think it was the English lineout actually was overthrown. Ramos ran up and just kicked the ball on the fly. Didn't even let the ball bounce on the fly. And the ball went kind of like sideways over the top. It wasn't like a big kick, just a tiny little chip over the top, essentially. And then Damien Pennell ran up and caught this ball. Nice little offload to Gao Fuku. And Fuku was just completely free down in the middle of the field. Try time, 30 points to 24. France retaking the lead. As the clock is starting to tick down, the French forwards is starting to really control the game. England is really getting smothered. There was some really good kicking game from the French, just pinging England into their own 22, and England is just really like taking every opportunity to take a breather. Like they would take a mark, England, and they would just be like, all right, guys, come back. We'll wait for everyone to come back, and just really taking their time to try to get their players a little bit of time for a bit of a rest. Finally, 72 minutes into the game, England gets a turnover penalty. This was probably kickable on the 50-meter mark for George Ford. England decided to back themselves to go for the line out. They go for the line out. They just probe the try line, just crash ball. Eventually, the ball went out. Lightning quick hands from George Ford to Marcus Smith, and then I don't think Marcus Smith touched the ball, did he? Oh yeah, to Marcus Smith, and then Marcus Smith popped to another ball to Freeman. Freeman goes in for try. Even the commentator screamed out a loud yes when this happened. It was just really just amazing having George Ford, and England suddenly takes a lead, 31 points to 30. George Ford had to kick this goal from the sideline. The ball barely scraped in from the post. And then finally, 77 minutes into the game, from the kickoff, Danny Kerr decided to kick the ball away, and it wasn't deep enough. Even the commentator was saying, need to go deep, need to kick this one deep, and then he just box kicked it all just on the 50-meter mark. Sure enough, France had this experience against South Africa. They build penalty against Ben Earl, tackling a player without using wrapping, so it was a shoulder charge. I thought this was a bit of a hard call, and he was kind of on the ground, did one of the shoulder and kind of to the knee trip over thing. It was a little bit dangerous. There was a penalty, and George Ramos popped this one over from the 50-meter mark, and that was it. 31 points to 33. France winning the game, and let me know if Danny Kerr made the right decision or not. I thought this was a really, really good game of rugby. I felt like maybe the rating for both teams were probably 7.5 for both teams. And, Danny Kerr probably let England down, could have won the game. If Danny Kerr hadn't kicked the ball away, England probably would have been at 8 in terms of their performance, just a little bit ahead of the French. And, massive turnaround from England last year's, 53 points to 10. And, what can I say is, pretty good game, and really looking quite promising for England going into the July internationals. I think they're getting the All Blacks. Oh boy, that'll be good. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts about the ratings. Let me know your thoughts about the game. And thanks to anyone who supports me financially. Really do appreciate that. And thanks for watching. Have a good week. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.